God saved me from suicide. So I told you I'd packed medicine from my sister.
Yes.
And there was this particular Sunday that I had mapped a place that I wanted to go, and it could help me go. You remember, like down the other side behind the library, so there was a chain link.
Yes, where we used to pray.
Exactly.
Or read.
So there was a place like beneath, which was kind of off from the ground, that if you lifted it up well, you'd actually pass through. I remember down.
How did you find this?
It was just
place?
that the particular day that I was just like roaming alone down there.
Okay.
And below it was just sugar canes and wine.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, this is a perfect place. So I want to get a time, and Sunday would get everyone the other side. So this side would be like very lonely. So I knew I would get myself out and go down there. Maybe sit in between the sugar canes and take my tablets and just sleep.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a little piece of YouTube that I get to share with you my experiences, stories, and my faith, and my journey on parenting, and everything really in between. As you know, I hosted my friend Sarah on the previous episode, and we were talking about her journey with mental health. So we are here for part 2. So we are going to talk about the journey into healing, any lessons learned, and stuff like that. So grab a seat, grab popcorn, grab a couch blankets, and make yourself comfortable, and learn, from her experience. So Sarah, how was the healing journey for you? How did it start? How did you recognize that you had a problem? And how did you know that you actually needed healing? Or how did you start feeling better?
Okay. So first, to take you back to our episode 1, our first episode, there was this part where God saved me from suicide. So I told you I'd packed medicine from my sister.
Yes.
And there was this particular Sunday that I had mapped a place that I wanted to go, and it could help me go. You remember, like down the other side behind the library, so there was a chain link.
Yes, where we used to pray.
Exactly.
Or read.
So there was a place like beneath, which was kind of off from the ground, that if you lifted it up well, you'd actually pass through. I remember down.
How did you find this?
It was just
place?
that the particular day that I was just like roaming alone down there.
Okay.
And below it was just sugar canes and wine.
Yes.
So I was like, yeah, this is a perfect place. So I want to get a time, and Sunday would get everyone the other side. So this side would be like very lonely. So I knew I would get myself out and go down there. Maybe sit in between the sugar canes and take my tablets and just sleep and wait to go to heaven. I don't know. So I took these medicines. I wrote a cheat, which was expressing why I wanted to just die. So I kept it somewhere that I knew that when they are checking my things or packing my things, they would find it. So I go to church. I even told God very well that I don't want this life anymore.
Today is the day.
Yeah, today that was my prayer. I said, forgive me, but I cannot just live this life anymore. No one will understand me. When they get to know that I was HIV positive, no one will take the story. So I said, okay. So I just sat. I don't even remember what the reverend preached.
So you really just condemned yourself? You didn't even test to find out whether you were actually HIV positive?
There were no testing facilities. Remember, they were really rare.
Yes, they were. But for you just condemned yourself.
Yeah, I said no. The only thing is everyone will think that
you were sleeping
I was
around.
like, maybe I'll even say, maybe I got it through a needle. Who will believe that? Maybe I got it through, but I have not got a blood transfusion before. I have not got a Caesar. I have not got, So I was like, no one will buy my story. So I walk out. Now remember there was this other door where you come and greet the reverend and then
Yes.
So now Fred Mukasa and the rest of the team from counseling something were the guests of that day, and they came early. So they stood there and they're waiting for us to go out. And I wanted to use the other door.
But as we always do.
Yeah, but that day they closed that door. And all of us had to just go through there. So I greeted the reverend, and then I greeted that guy. And he told me, "What's your name?" I said, "My name is Sarah." And he said, "Can I have a word with you?"
God.
Yeah, I told him, "Yeah, but let me first go and change my uniform into a casual thing and come."
Did you really just want to go and change?
No.
You were going to...
I just wanted to go and pick my things and go because I didn't want any more delays.
God was working.
He did. And he told me, no, you won't go. Let's just sit under that tree. And just like, I just want to greet you, no more of you. So, and I was like, oh, I'm such a kunkwana. That is what ran down my leg. Excuse me.
For those who don't understand Luganda, she's saying she thought the preacher wanted to vibe her.
The man, a guy, has seen anointing in me. So I was like,
but first wait. So many people were passing through this job.
Yes.
But this gentleman specifically
chose me.
Asked to sit down with you.
Only me. And I am not a person who always greets the reverend. I just pass the other side and go.
I know.
But this particular time, the other door is closed. And we all just have to pass down. So he told me. So we sat down and he told me, "You are in a lot of pain." And I was like, he told me, "Let me tell you something. God can forgive anything. Even if the person that hurt you died long time."
But at that point, he was still alive.
He was still alive.
Yes.
But there was also a certain guy who one time attempted to rape me, but I fought myself out of it. But he had passed on the previous year.
Oh my God.
And I was like, does this guy know me? And then he told me, is there anyone that has ever hurt you? Like, hurt you so deeply that you cannot forgive?
I think that guy had experience dealing with such issues,
Yeah,
and he could
and I
just
think he could
tell from your face.
I think both of it, but
Also,
I think most importantly it was God just. And I
was-
think that day, that guy came to school
just
for me.
for you, yeah. God was orchestrating you.
Honestly.
healing.
And up to today, I still tell God, you who brought a man just for me in school.
And a random man.
Yeah, random man. Like, it strengthens my faith every time I think about it. I'm like, God cannot leave me here. He will still bring somebody. He will still use some situation to bring me out of whatever I am in. So we talked about all the many things. And he told me, you know what? There's something called discordance. I didn't even know what that meant. But now that I went to school later, I realized that, oh, this is what... He said, someone can actually have sex with you and they are HIV positive. And they don't pass it to you because of several reasons.
For me, until this point, it's something that is so hard to believe.
But it happens. Now that I'm in the medical field,
I know.
I can now explain what it means. So I am like, is this guy really talking about the truth? He told me, and there are very many girls in your situation that I have met. We've tested them, and do you know what? They turned out to be negative. A joy leaped in my heart, and I'm like, so like, life started coming back. And he told me, I am going to help you. He asked me, where do you stay? I told him I stay in Namgongo. He's like, so I am going to give you my business card. One day when I come there, he told me I would have liked to take you out of school, but I know that you don't want anyone to know your story. I told him I don't want anyone to know my story. Please do not take me. He's like, he told me it's fine.
So, sorry to interrupt. Did you tell him the whole story?
Yeah, I narrated to him the whole story because he now came from that anger and broke me down to a point that I felt like at least one person is willing to listen to me. And he told me, I will not judge you. And that situation has happened to many people. So like he broke me, he actually told me, were you raped? Did someone do something that hurt you so much? So he used words that played with my psychology and broke the wall that I had built. And I realized that, oh my God, there are people who can actually listen.
Yes.
And that's how I narrated the story. And he told me, no. There's a very high chance that you don't have HIV.
Oh,
and I'm like, wow. And that's where hope began from. That's how I began to read. The little past that I had in class began that day. It necessarily didn't help me later because there was a particular day my sister forgot her phone home. And I tried to connect to that guy. And when he was on his way coming to pick me, my sister came back home and took the phone.
You didn't tell her that you called?
I didn't tell her because who did I call? For what? Remember, this is a secret.
But Sarah.
So they took the phone, and I don't know whether he now called later and they told him maybe this is a wrong number or something. I do not know. I could not ask. And then one day I was in town. They stole my wallet. It had that card of that guy.
So you don't even know where he is,
I
or
don't
you
know.
haven't
I
even
didn't
connected?
Not again.
Okay,
And I cried to death. Like my in-law came and picked me from City Square, thinking that they had stolen money because I'd gone to pay school fees for me, my nephew, and some other guy, some little boy. He phoned me crying and he told me, did they take the money? He told me, you relax, even if they took the money, God knows how to. I told him they didn't take the money. He's like, what did they take? I said, my wallet. And what I was crying about was that card of that guy. Because I had a hope always that I would meet him and he would take me where? He would take me to test. Yeah, so that story died, and that is how now I tested from this other clinic. Yeah. So that is how my hope began. And that's how healing began. Yeah. So after A-level, I go to campus. And then in campus, there was this peer education something group where they would come and talk to us about challenges that people face in like their young life. And they would encourage us to test and those health talks, you know. And I braved myself one day and I said, I will go and test. But it took me like 3 trials. I would come and sit in the queue and then I'm like, I don't know what will come out of this thing, and I would walk away.
But you had already tested.
Yeah, but I didn't believe that it was a small clinic, and I felt like I think these ones have fake results.
Sarah. You didn't believe the other young man?
No. Yeah, so I tested the first time. I actually got this lady. She was doing medicine. She was in 3rd year. And I told her my story. And I told her I've actually tested before, but I think it was a fake result. She asked me.
Fred Mukasa told you that there's discordance.
Exactly.
You didn't believe.
Yeah, she asked me, why do you think those were fake results? I actually told her a very stupid reason. That, you know, this guy who works in that clinic liked me. And I think like he faked results. She's like, don't worry, we'll do it this time. So she came with results and she was so happy. And told me, Sarah, I am glad to tell you that you are not sick. And she told me you can do this again and again, like so many times. I did it like, I don't know, maybe like 7-8 times is when I believed that I think this is true. And the healing began. Even the boils on my skin stopped.
Those boils, I think, were in your head.
I think they were in my head. Because even when I look for scars, they are not there.
They are not. Maybe. I was in school with this lady for 2 years, guys. I did not see any boils.
Hello, eh? And
so I don't know what boils she's talking about.
They were psychological. So I think they would be like small pimples.
There could be like rashes that is normal.
And even when the rashes would come, I would make sure I have the sweater all the time. Like there would be just those small maybe water changes. And I'm like, I think this is the thing. This is the sign that the end time has come.
There's no end time, baby girl.
So, yeah.
So, just to backtrack a bit, what are some of the challenges that you faced while in this pain, like while holding the pain to yourself and you hadn't disclosed it to anybody? What are some of the challenges that you could say you faced during that time?
I think I felt I was challenged in class. I would never concentrate.
Because you were focused on the pain.
Even when I am listening. Yeah. When I'm listening to Mr. Izizinga deriving all those equations in Math 1,
for context,
in pure math.
Mr. Izizinga was a very nice math teacher.
Don't leave Mr. Izizinga. I hope you're still there. So I would look at him, I would follow him up to a certain point, and then my mind just switches. And I go, oh my God, one day I will die. And that is it. And you know, like he would be like, chapter 8, where have you arrived here? And I am bleak. I don't know anything. I have not followed anything. I thank God for my friend Talema. She would always come and help me
By
catch
the
up.
way.
So she'd be like, Sarah, where did you get lost from? And I'm like, I don't even know. So she'd just repeat the whole thing and take me to the end. So, one, I couldn't concentrate in class. I lost time. I also lost friends, I think, along the way. That's another challenge. Because there were people who were really nice to me, but I would never trust.
But you would close yourself off.
I had a wall. So I would have vibe with you guys. But
I think we also just really stayed your friends because we were in the same class.
Exactly. And you know, it took me long to overcome that thing. So even if I had realized that I was not HIV positive, I had a wall that had been created in my life. That even up to now, I cannot say I have taken it to 0%. There are still parts of me that raise a wall very quickly. I see something like this and I'm like, no, I don't want to. So I think I lost certain friends along the way that would also have been here today. But yeah, I had challenges really. And also in my faith, I got a little challenged. My parents were born again. They were very strong in the faith. They brought us well. They brought us up so well and made sure that we actually understood the things of the faith. But I would always reach a point and be like, but God, if you are really there, why would you let my brother do this to me? Yeah, and I would really be resentful sometimes.
I know.
Yeah, so I think those are the few challenges among others that I could mention.
Then something else that I'm curious about, how did this whole experience affect your relationship with God? Or, because I feel like you kept talking to God this entire time. Yeah, so but how was the relationship from like before this happened and then transitioning to when it happened, and also when you had healed and it was no longer a burden that you were carrying? How was your relationship with God affected?
So at first I didn't really cut a portion of the blame to God when I was still younger. But as I started to grow and start to listen to things that people talk about God, how He can protect you, how He shields you from things that you don't even see, I am like, no way. God doesn't love me in that version. Because He saw this coming.
And He didn't do anything.
Yes, and I was just there to help my mother. But He didn't do anything about it. So it gave me a doubt in God and His love for some time. But yet after Fred Mukasa came into my life,
thank God for you, Fred
those
Mukasa.
few minutes, but if
you come across this video, Chapter 8 is looking for you.
I am looking for you. I am really looking for you.
You were her God sent.
Yeah, and it was from Ginger. It was called Family something, but it was a counseling home.
Yeah, I remember,
and they didn't come to school once.
Yes.
Okay, I have a few friends and they would really sing nice songs and then they would really sit with us and talk to us. But I don't know, I lost the card several. Yeah, so like after him coming into my life and then the steps that followed, me getting tested and then growing up in life, I am like, God. It strengthened my faith again later, knowing that God has an end to everything. Like He knows our lives from the beginning to the end. So I just know, like even up to now, there are things that I go through and I tell God, if you could do that in the other time, you will definitely still do it now.
Of Him being able to protect you from HIV.
Protect me from HIV. I didn't take my life that day.
Yes,
honestly, Robina,
yes.
I was so prepared for the whole situation. I was taking my life that day. Come rain, come shine. I was doing
We're
it.
going to be sad.
I tell you, and I find my body in the sugarcane plantation there. But yes, I am like, God, you who brought a man in Busoga there. I am a girl from Kapchora. A man in Busoga there comes and you make him notice just me.
Yes, out of so many of us
Exactly. And let me tell you,
that dining hall that day.
Exactly, and we're full. So like, even when I was applying for my current job, it's one of the things that I quote for God. Like you picked me out of the many in that hall. For sure you will still pick me. And you know what? He actually picked me.
He did.
So yeah, I had the challenge of faith, doubting God. But at the end of it all, I still look at it as God had a plan.
He did.
God had a plan. And even now, there are things that I cannot do because of the lessons I learned from that time. Yeah, and I'm like, yeah.
But I also believe that God had a purpose and plan for you, for your life.
Oh, yeah.
Because if, I don't know, you've gone through all these things, but you're still here now.
With a vibe.
And for some reason, honestly, for me, you encourage me all the time.
Thank you.
I feel like you sharing your story on here is going to encourage so many people who are in a dark place right now.
I will be there.
And this could be your purpose, by the way.
Very true.
And I hope that if it comes for you, embrace it.
Exactly. I told someone recently that I think and I know that God allowed me to go through that thicket because He knew, like we always know that God is preparing us for Him. He knows that He wants me to do something. Because even up to now, I work in Soroti, you know that.
Yes.
And the setting there is not like in Kampala here. We still have rural setting in town.
Yes.
You get. So there are girls that you interface with, and like my heart is so easy, finds it so easy to relate with those girls. Finds it so easy to get out words out of them. And I at the end of it all, I actually realized that someone has gone through this challenge and I can help them like this. So I'm like, God, you know what? Do whatever you're doing. I am ready. Yeah, that was part of the process. It's still part of the process. And I know.
And I'm so glad you're not fighting it.
No, I am not fighting it. I do it with gladness.
Because, honestly, if this was my story, anyway, maybe because you're at a place of healing now, but if this was my story, I think my eyes would be literally bawling right now. I would have cried all the tears.
Yeah, I used to cry.
World.
I used to cry a lot until a certain time that it just stopped. And that's when I evaluated myself and realized that I was above 70% of healing. Yeah, I can laugh about it anytime. I can talk about it anytime. And I know that I am surely healed.
So did you go to any form of counseling or therapy?
Nope, for that time when I was still alone. It's later on when I got her fiancé that he realized that I was still struggling. Even like time of intimacy, sorry to say that, but he realized that I was still having pain. And like those images would still come in my mind. Yeah, it's him that took me for counseling. Yeah, so it was way later on.
So you went through counseling?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so I went through counseling. And
How
I am
was that?
still going through counseling because recently at office, I sat down and something triggered me and I realized that, okay, there's still some bit of pain. And I contacted our counselor at office. Yeah.
And, that's nice that you're seeking help.
Yeah. Because I want it like to totally be healed. You can have a scar, but when it is healed, it doesn't hurt, it doesn't... Yeah, so I will know that it happened, but it doesn't affect any kind of judgment of mine, the actions that I am found doing. Like, it's not based on any of those things. So I am still going through counseling.
Okay.
Yeah, once in a while.
How is that experience? Like, do you come out of it lighter? How is counseling for you?
Counseling is a very nice thing, and people need to seek counseling. But I also don't want to hide the fact that there are people, I don't know whether they are not just counselors. Maybe they just went there because they knew somebody, but there's a particular counselor I've met that did not counsel me. I feel like he caused me more pain.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but the other counselors, the other 2 counselors I have met apart from that one, the other 3 apart from that, they do a great job. I come out feeling reassured. I come out feeling like there's something better that will come out of this. I come out knowing that even this can be healed.
It can.
Yeah. So
also, maybe he was just not the best fit for you, or
I don't know.
Maybe he had experience in something else,
and he looked at money more than what he was going to give me.
Yeah, that's
because
true.
he kept telling me, if you've not yet paid this amount of money, I won't do this. And I'm like, but I am coming to where you are. So I don't know whether the fact that I didn't pay up front is what affected our, but I don't feel like that was a counselor for me.
Yeah. There are those, I think like he wasn't the best fit for you, and
Maybe.
God kind of just removed him
Yeah,
from your
maybe.
path.
Maybe.
Maybe using that.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe. Yeah. To conclude,
Yeah, we are still here, and we hope you're still here with us.
how did this whole experience, what did it teach you about God? Because I know you're now a woman of faith, because for me you're always encouraging me whenever whenever I'm feeling some type of way and I talk to you, you're always encouraging me and holding my hand, really. So what has this whole experience taught you about who God is?
I've just learned that God is still God. He does not slumber, he does not sleep. So whatever darkness you're going through right now, don't even be tempted to think that God has forgotten about you. At least that's one thing I know. Because at the end of every situation that I have gone through, even putting this one aside, at the end of it all, there's always a lesson. Unless you're not keen enough to see. But at the end of it all, there's always something to learn. So I know that God's love for us is pure. There's no time you'll be like, Robina, the other day she lied to me. Let me let her go through it. No. He will still maintain his stand. And he will still let you go through it, because at the end of it all, he knows what is ahead of you.
Yes.
And he knows that he's molding something beautiful. So God's love for us is perfect. And what he wants out of us is the best. That's how I can just wrap it up.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for braving and honoring my YouTube channel and being the very first.
I am the very first. And I will
being
still
the very
come.
first guest.
If there's something I have that can still be hosted, I will still come.
Thank you so much for believing in me.
I do believe in you, Robina. I do.
And allowing to come and just chat and share your story on my channel, because I had shared with you the vision and you were like, and you're the one who initiated and said I want to come and be hosted.
I remember. Yes.
So you really, really believed in me, even when I didn't have a very clear picture of what I really wanted to
I will
do.
still believe in you again and again.
So thank you so much for that. I'm truly grateful. Thank you also for honoring my invitation, and coming and sharing your story with us. I hope that this blesses you. Anyone out there who is facing similar challenges like Sarah did, please speak from her story. It's not the end of the road for you. God has a very perfect and beautiful plan for your life. So please do not take your life. Seek counseling, seek help. I'll leave my contacts down below in case you'd like to chat with Sarah, because she has the experience. She has been there before. I know she's more than willing to chat
share
with you and walk your hand and hold your hand and walk with you through the journey, or even point you in the right direction of who can help you.
Yeah, very true.
So do you have any parting shots
for parents, guardians, big sisters, everyone that has young children or young girls, people around you, even men, even boys, even these days boys get molested. So for anyone who is in the shoes of a parent, let's try to study our children closely. There will always be a change in behavior once someone has gone through that kind of trauma, and you can see it. So may God give us the wisdom to be able to know that I think something is not right here. Let's just pay a little more attention. I am a parent right now, and I can tell when my son, when something is not right. I'll come back from office and I know. And I'll ask the girls and they'll say, no, but at the end of it all, I'll find out what happened. So let's pay a little more attention. We may be able to avoid such things. Because if I had found someone to talk to earlier, I would not be in this place. I would not have gone to that place. Thanks be to God though, but we can avoid those. So parents, let's be a little more keen. I know we have our gadgets, we come back and we just want to be on our handles all the time, but please, let's spare some time just to study our children, to pray for them, and let God reveal to you what exactly is taking place in their lives at every particular time. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
You're welcome.
I think we'll wrap it up here.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See you next time. We love you. And